My Octavian comrades, it has been 4 months since my last video addressing all of you in this format. It has been 4 months since I had called upon all of you to rejoin the ranks, rejoin Octavium, and take up arms in the one true Octavian Imperium led by your dear leader, Alexander, true emperor of Octavium and its people. A lot of people heard this call and did rejoin. They fought in many of the battles against the Ruler's Guard, liberated our lands that were unrightfully claimed by our enemies, and brought forth the Octavian Imperium, restored anew as it is today. But there were some petitions amongst some of you complaining that the group was not formatted as it was pre-July 6th. There was no army, there was no regime, there were missing divisions that some of you were a part of. Of course, I am a dictator. I do not listen to people and their pleas. However, I did intend to reform the Octavian Imperium as it was built previously. So, in the last couple of weeks, we have restored the Imperial Army. We have restored the Imperial regime. We have brought back old divisions and restored new divisions, such as the Light Cavalry Division and the Marine Division. This is, of course, to appeal to many of you who have been so stubborn as not returned to Octavium because of the aesthetical changes we've made after July 6th had happened. But there is more important news than the aesthetics of the group. 3 months ago, on March 1st of 2026, Leutgard had resigned from power of Teutonnia as he was overthrown by his own leadership and people. The reasons for this were because RCR Mike, who made the original document and prosecuted me during the July 6th trial, decided to go after Leutgard, releasing hundreds of screenshots, hundreds of pages of documents on him in many disgusting acts that he had committed against his own group, against my group. Amongst it were things like doxing, degeneracy, posting images that were deviant, sexually charged in public channels, among other things. As I said in my video The Truth 10 months ago, when this does indeed happen, the action of every Octavium person and personnel will not be to charge up and put him on trial and do to him as he did to us, but it will be to be humble, to accept what happens and watch with steady pace and let it all happen, because it is God that is the wrath of justice and not man. And that is exactly what we did. We had very little to do with it. We exposed Leutgard for doxing and other things to our members for their safety, and in the hope that RCR Mike would do something, and thankfully, eventually, something was done by Mike. Leutgard has been destroyed. Teutonia is now collapsing as they drop from 400-player rallies to 200-player rallies. The activity has dropped from hundreds of players on the weekends and mid-afternoon to as many as 40, 50, 60. This is activity that Octavium was averaging during the Speed of July 1 year ago prior. On the other hand, Octavium has been rallying upwards to about almost 200 people. Not exactly that many people, but in some of our rallies as many as 120, 150, at one point even 160. Some say the numbers were even higher for our Victory Day parade that we hosted 2 months ago. Octavium is on the rise. We have restored our divisions, our branches, with more divisions than ever before across all 3 branches. We have restored the Octavium whole. All of our lands that we had controlled prior to July 6th, we have reconquered and reclaimed for the greater glory and good and prosperity of our people. From Morocco to northern Occitania, from Cuba to the Alpine Mountains, Octavium now reigns supreme over Western Europe as it had done before. As your great leader and emperor, over the last 10 months of this brutal, chaotic, toxic war, I have restored everything that was lost unrightfully so because of Leutgard and because of the traitors who betrayed Octavium. This is an appeal to every Octavian person, to every Octavian veteran, every person that watches this video and is not in my group. This is your chance to join up. Achieve a rank now before it is too late. Rejoin the groups and acquire your old position before that position's been filled up by the new generations of today, tomorrow, and yesterday. But prepare, ready, and fight to die for this Octavian Imperium and for the causes that they serve. We are the victors of this war. Octavium has finally won in its reclamation of our lands and establishing justice for our people. Leutgard and his Leutgardists have lost. Teutonia, to some extent, has lost. And although Teutonia still exists as a nation, they are much more weaker than they have been in years. This is a great opportunity for every Octavian and Zaenderist to join up and make Octavium the greatest nation, the most active nation, the most loyal nation that this genre has ever seen. Leutgard created a group, and many groups before it, for the last 18 years. 18 years on this platform. He has reigned over this genre. He has reigned over this platform. Octavia, for the span of maybe about 8 months, rolled the genre in 2020. But Leutgard, on the other hand, has ran it for dozens of years. The time has come for that to change. The opportunity is now for Octavian to exceed those efforts and build the greatest Christian empire that this genre, that this Roblox platform has ever seen. I am calling every man, every woman, every person to arms to join the group now, to lead this struggle, to lead our cause forward to victory. I promise and guarantee you that upon the launch of our new map, Toulouse, in the coming of months, we will once again have activity like never seen before. 60 online every day. Rallies numbering the hundreds, perhaps even 200 at some point. We are building a great nation that will rival every other nation before it. Not for ourselves, but for the King of Kings, Jesus Christ. With the Imperial Restoration and the speed of July in the distance, coming to save and revive our great Imperium, to exceed Teutonia, to build the largest military empire in this genre that is built up of Christians, strong Christians, brotherly Christians. We are going to make a grand display of power on June 13th at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time Zone on Saturday at the new map, Mount Invictus, which many of you may remember this map from a year or two ago. Our goal for this rally is to demonstrate that Octavium is back. We may not rally 200, but we are going to rally in the hundreds to demonstrate that we are still alive, we are still active, and the speed of July is back. If we exceed that number of 200 people, it would be a divine miracle from God. But with all of you having full faith in this group, having full faith in me as your leader, I do think that that number is possible. And if not possible the next week, then the next bi-weekly, and the next bi-weekly, and the bi-weekly after that, for as long as we can. The goal of Octavium is to build an empire for Christ. It is to exceed Teutonia not for our own interests and glory, but for God's glory. That is why this is so important. If you are to watch this video and still glamor and moan and groan about July 6th, which for the record has already been addressed, debunked, as we are now re-entering Mike's Our World War II genre, the same Mike that prosecuted me, the same Mike that made the document on me, who is now allowing us into his Our World War II genre. If you are still groaning and moaning about that dear event, then my friend, what are we doing? Are we going to allow Leutgard and Teutonia to achieve victory over this genre because of petty, out-of-context allegations? Are we going to let our enemies reign supreme because you have been convinced and brainwashed by the enemy that I am not Christian enough for you people? Every Octavian that sees this has a duty and obligation to look past everything that has happened so that we can move forward, continue where we left off, and rebuild the greatest Imperium that has ever been built in this genre. For every struggle that our men fought, dozens doxed by Teutonia, for every land reclaimed, for every battle, we must show and prove to our enemies that we are the greatest nation. We will prevail because we must prevail. That is the call, that is the cry of our Octavian Earth. That is the request of your dear leader, to give your all, to fight, fight, fight for the final victory, to ensure a future for future generations, for future children, for future Octavians to live and to die in a fun, organic Christian empire. It is achievable. But that is not up to me to achieve. That is up to you to achieve. To every member that watches this video, to every person that watches the video and decides to do nothing, to complain. Do nothing and complain. We can do that all day long, for years to come, and then nothing gets done. But I want to achieve something great. I want to build a greater Octavian Imperium for our membership, for our people, for our leaders. And I will do everything in my power to achieve that. I will fight every fight that I can. I will argue with every person that I can until we are rallying 300, until we're rallying 600, until we're having rallies in real life. IRL events. It's possible. It's achievable. You know, they said that after the yard circuit would drop, we would be rallying 10 people. Everything lost, destroyed. They said that when the monastic video dropped, that I would be destroyed. There'd be nothing left. And they said about the Root Media video, more than anything else, I'm afraid as well, destroy me. And not only did we survive, but we won. We can sit here and we can cower and we can theorize that this is yet another missed opportunity for you. Just like the last 8 months for a lot of people. Did not join when they were invited to the Order State. Did not join when we got Octavium back. Did not rejoin when there were many other opportunities. This is quite literally your last chance that I'm giving those who are still left, that have not joined the group, that have not joined the Discord, that have not committed themselves to a division. I'm giving you a choice to join now, before this is your last opportunity to rejoin. And when you finally join, when everything is going well, you'll be nothing more than a ranker, a private, a recruit amongst other recruits, among thousands of recruits. When you could have joined today, became an officer, and then became a general a year later. That could be you. So this is my last appeal, and likely one of my last videos on camera for a while, because the war has ended. There's no need to fight drama. There's no more need to refute and debate people anymore about July 6th or the RCR document. We have moved on from these things. They're irrelevant. They don't matter. They mattered a year ago. They don't matter anymore. If you still care about those things, if otherwise you still care about petty ordeals about the group aesthetic or certain divisions, then you are not a real Octavian. I'm afraid that you have been lost and there's nothing I can do about you. But for the rest of you, for the hundreds of you, perhaps there are even thousands of you that are still being stubborn. Why? The time has come to reclaim our glory, and with or without the rest of Octavium's people, we will achieve it. Thousands of people have rejoined the groups over the last couple of months. Hundreds of veterans are back in their positions as generals and officers, among other things. I would say that as many as 80% of our people are back. Howard Hughes is back. Oswald is back. Wagen is back. Frederick is back. All the dynasties are in the group. Every single one of the dynasties that were here before, aside from the Santiagos, are back in the group. There is no more appeal or reason I can give to any more of you if you are not trying hardest to fight for my group and join my group. This is my last appeal. I have won every victory, every battle, every war, given the glory to God at the end of the day, because it is truly God that has won. We must be humble for these things. I have tried my very best to prove that I am the leader worthy of your support and loyalty. There's nothing more I can do. What more could I do to win over the loyalty of those who are stubborn? Nothing. The ball is in your court, Octavium. Will Octavium win and build the greatest nation that has graced this platform and genre? Or will it be yet another mediocre effort go down in the history books as an attempt to reign over Teutonia, for Christ to reign over Europe, so that Leutgard can inevitably return to his empire and rule it for another 20 years of his life? It is not my choice to decide this, but ultimately, it is yours. Decide. With or without you, we will succeed. We will win. And we will build the greatest, most based, most edgy Christian empire that this world, this genre, has ever seen. The world's eyes are upon us. So, join us or die. With that being said, I have made my last and final appeal to the Octavian people, most of which have already rejoined, taken up arms, and number in the thousands amongst our ranks of active members. So with that being said, let us march onwards to victory. Ave Octavium, Ave Zaenderism, and Ave Christus Rex.